Hey everyone, it's Shannon and welcome to this week's video. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit subscribe and ring the bell. That way you get a notification every time I post a new video. So this week we're going to talk about Disney fine art photography, specifically the enhanced portrait session. Now that's the family portrait session that my family and I have done for the last 3 years. So you may have known that Disney offers professional photography, but most people think of it through Disney weddings. So we've all watched, Disney fairy tale weddings, or maybe you've seen the beautiful images of a bride in front of Cinderella's castle. But now these are the same photographers, but that's not what I'm talking about. To shoot in Magic Kingdom is just way out of our budget. But this is something a little bit more affordable, but you're still getting that class of Disney photographers that are just really great quality on Disney property and some places that you may not be able to shoot. So our family have shot for the last 3 years. We started in December 2017 for my son's 2nd birthday. And that year we were staying at Wilderness Lodge. So that was the first year we did this enhanced portrait session. The second year we were staying at the Polynesian. And that was an interesting one because a really bad storm came through and it was going to rain all day. They actually called to confirm the day before and they said, look, the weather looks bad. Do you want to change? But the rest of our vacation was already planned. So I said, let's just keep it. Are there options to shoot inside? She says, well, you're on the monorail loop. You should be fine. So we did shoot. It was pouring when we started our session. And our photographer was great. His name was Jacob. And he said, let's take a couple pictures inside the Polynesian. And then we jumped on the monorail, went over to the Grand Floridian. He says the Grand Floridian has a lot more options inside. So that's exactly what we did. And we got some amazing, amazing images there. So that was great. Wasn't where we were staying, but it was still very, very convenient. And it was actually our son's first monorail ride. Last year we were staying at Old Key West. So again, we shot at Old Key West, which was great. It was a little bit different. We shot at the pool. It was beautiful weather. I mean, just gorgeous. It was a little cold. A cold front was coming through. Of course, I decided to wear a dress with spaghetti straps, but I was cold, but there was no rain and the sun. It was just a beautiful, beautiful day. So we got some beautiful images and it was different. So what we've used it as is not only are we getting our family photos that we do once a year for Christmas and for our son's birthday, but it's also a memory of our vacation and typically where we stay. We are Disney Vacation Club. So every December we try and stay at a different resort, though I think this year we might be back at Old Key West because we just loved it. But anyway, it was just, so we've used it as a memory of, okay, that's the year we stayed at Wilderness Lodge. That's the year we stayed at Old Key West. So, and we did that for 2 things. One, again, it's a memory. It's our souvenir. And 2, it's convenient. So we don't have to go anywhere. And when you have a 2 or 3-year-old, the last thing you want to do is have to hike to Animal Kingdom at 7:30 in the morning. So that leads me to my next thing. One of the great things about booking through Disney Fine Art Photography, an enhanced portrait session, is you have the option of shooting at any of the Disney resorts. It doesn't have to be the resort you're staying at. You can shoot at any of the Disney resorts, or you can also choose Hollywood Studios, Disney's Animal Kingdom, or Epcot. So Hollywood Studios, I don't believe yet you can shoot at Toy Story Land or Galaxy's Edge. Those are still off limits. They will probably add Toy Story Land in the near future. Galaxy's Edge is going to be a while. But the thing with those is you have to go before the park opens. So you're talking early morning. And in December when we go, those parks sometimes open at 7 or 8 a.m. That means we got to shoot at 6:30. Not happening. So sorry. But the one thing that you do get to shoot at is at Epcot is World Showcase. Well, World Showcase doesn't open until 11. So if you wanted to shoot at World Showcase, you can shoot at 9:30, and you're done in an hour. So by 10:30 you're done, and that section of the park is still not open. So I think that if we're staying at Old Key West this year, I don't want to have the same shoot. So it's our 10-year anniversary. My son's turning 5. I think this is going to be the year we're going to shoot at Epcot World Showcase. Now, a couple things about the enhanced portrait session. So there is a mini portrait session and then the enhanced portrait session. And the enhanced portrait session includes a photographer assistant. To me, if you're gonna spend the money on the enhanced portrait session, because it is, I think it's probably double the price, but you get triple the amount of time. So instead of 20 minutes, you get an hour. You get an assistant who's gonna help with keeping your kids' attention, the lighting, shading so you don't have shading. They're gonna be able to just help the photographer do whatever they need. And then in addition to that, they're gonna go back and color correct all the photos. So when you get your images, usually takes about 2 weeks, you get them on a USB drive, they are gonna be color corrected. Now, are they gonna be photoshopped and airbrushed? No. But you're not gonna have, color correcting that's gonna be needed. That's something you don't get on the mini session. The mini session is just 20 minutes, it's one photographer, and that's it. You get the USB drive right after. It's great if you want to do some quick pictures, family pictures with a photographer that's not PhotoPass. These are professional photographers, and get your images right away. My friend did it with her family. They loved it. They said it was worth it. They didn't want to spend the extra time or the extra money. So for them, it was worth it. For me, I like a little help with lighting. I like a little help with, is my hair in my face, getting my kid to pay attention. So I like that. Plus, this is our one time that we do family pictures. We don't do family pictures throughout the year. This is our one time. I'd rather spend the extra money. One perk for being DVC is we get 15% off. So it helps a little bit in that area as well. Another tip about doing a photo session, and I guess this could be a tip for anyone, but doing any photo session, but especially at Disney, is one, plan your outfits. So they have some tips on the Disney Fine Art Photography website. White is not a good color, but color coordinate. We've just always tended to wear blue. For the last 3 years, have worn navy. First 2 years, I wore navy jumpsuits. Last year, I wore a navy dress. I'm gonna try and branch out and maybe wear a different color this year, but we're a family that likes blue and we look good in blue, so it works. And it works with a lot of the Disney resorts. But, and another tip is to get a hair and makeup artist. So I know that's not, a lot of people are like, no, I can do my own makeup. But for me, it's just, when you're trying to get yourself ready, your child ready, your husband ready, it's just nice to kind of sit back and let someone do the work for you. Also, when you have a professional and you're doing a photo shoot, they're gonna make sure you look best on camera. I can show you pictures of what I looked like when I was just sitting there. I had a lot of makeup on. You don't see it in the pictures because with the camera flash, the lighting, you don't see it. Also, one of the perks is, they had a little contour here, a little contour here, stuff that I can kind of do, but I don't know how to do professionally for photography. So I'm gonna post 2 links below of the makeup artists that I used. One, I used Blake Walters and Allie Lee. Both are fantastic. They work together. It's kind of who's available. They're both amazing. They're local to Orlando. They don't charge an arm and a leg. They're fantastic. They will come to your hotel, do your hair and makeup. And if you only want to do your makeup, then they're only going to charge for that. You don't have to do both. Personally, I do both. I like to have my hair curled for photos, mainly because with straight hair, I fidget. And this is me the whole time. So yeah, it's not good. So if I curl it and it's sprayed, when we shot this past December at Old Key West, it was so windy, but I had curls and I was like, oh my God, my hair is going to look disaster. You don't see it. It literally stayed in place. I mean, when it was windy, it was blowing, but he would shoot the pictures as the wind calmed down and my hair looked fantastic. If my hair had been straight, it would have looked a mess. So, and I would have constantly had to have brushed it out. So I highly recommend hiring a professional hair and makeup artist if you're going to do photos. The next tip I have is to have an idea of what you want. And this is really key because the first year I had an idea of what I wanted. I told them, I want more lifestyle photos. We can have a couple posed photos, but I want some lifestyle photos. Well, the photographer that they matched us up with really wasn't the best. He wasn't bad. I think he just was more used to portraits and more posed photos, which was not us. We got an amazing photo of us walking down the walkway at Wilderness Lodge, but that was my idea. I said, this is what I want. I want my son running in front of us a little blurry behind, and he got like this amazing photo. It's actually become kind of our traditional photo that I ask for every year. The next year when I called and I said, look, I wasn't unhappy with my photos, but it wasn't exactly what I wanted. The person said, you know what, I know exactly who to match you up with. I'm going to see if they're available. You can actually request several photographers. They're just not going to confirm them. So somebody recommended Jacob to me, and he was available, so he was assigned to me, so he was fantastic. I'm actually going to request him again this year. Last year he wasn't available. I knew when we booked our date that he was already booked on a wedding, so which was fine. We actually got matched up with Ty, who again was fantastic. He was fantastic with my son. He loved my son. He actually has a daughter a little bit older, so he knew how to handle him. He knew how to get him to look at the camera. He knew how to get him to laugh. So he was great as well. So both of them were very much in tune with what I wanted. So I think that's the key, is don't just think that the photographer is going to know what you want. Some people want posed photos. Some people want, where it's more lifestyle. That's what I wanted. I have a lot of posed photos because we do a lot of photo pass. I wanted something of us kind of enjoying the resort, and I really wanted a lot of the resort. We actually walked out to, when we were at Old Key West, and I said, I really want the buildings in the back. So we walked out to where the fire pit was, and I said, I want the Old Key West buildings because I think they're so beautiful. So that was a really great shot that we had. We actually got some beautiful shots by the pool with the lighthouse, which is kind of iconic for the Old Key West resort. So work with your photographer, know what you want, don't be afraid to ask for what you want, but then also let them do their thing because they shoot these resorts, they know what shoots well. Thank God for Jacob last year because he was like, I know exactly where we can shoot at Grand Floridian. Take the monorail. We took the monorail. We got some amazing shots at Grand Floridian indoors where we would not have gotten those shots later because we were at Polynesian. And Polynesian, beautiful resort outside. We wanted our beach pictures and our Cinderella Castle in the distance photos. We didn't get those, but we got some amazing pictures at the Grand Floridian, and we even got a professional photo of us in front of the gingerbread house, so that was a bonus. So another tip I have is kind of a mistake I made the first year. I talked about having outfits that are coordinated. That's really key. Also coordinated with your resort. So when we were staying at the Polynesian, I tried to get like oranges and greens. Well, those are the two colors that my husband hates. So we ended up, he was just like, I'm wearing this navy shirt. And so we ended up in navy again. Again, fortunately, we ended up at Grand Floridian and navy worked better. But it really, the resort that you're staying at will really make a difference as to what color is going to work. With that said, don't try and change outfits. I tried to do that the first year. I wanted some Christmas picture in Christmas clothes, and then I wanted a non-Christmas picture. So for 10 minutes of our hour, we were changing, and I was changing my son, and I was changing, and it was just inconvenient, and I had to lug all of our clothes down. So I won't make that mistake again. If you want something that's like a Christmas photo, bring some Christmas hats, get a sign that says Merry Christmas, hold it up. You can get some pictures in front of Christmas decorations to get that Christmas photo. Then just take some pictures outside or another place where there's not Christmas decorations to have the non-Christmas photo. No one's gonna care that you're in the same outfits. Trust me, I learned my lesson the hard way. Don't waste your time. And then my last tip for booking enhanced portrait sessions is to make sure you book early. So I would have already booked. We now have our dates. We just booked. We're at 7 months. We just booked our Old Key West resort. We have a wait list for Boardwalk, but it looks like we're probably going to go back to Old Key West. We loved it, so there's worse places to stay. But it looks like we're going back to Old Key West this year. So we have our dates. And I typically would have already booked our session as soon as we have our dates. Unfortunately, Disney Fine Art Photography is closed right now due to COVID-19. But once they reopen, I will be booking and putting my request. And the reason being is that if you're requesting photographers, they're going to get assigned by order of first come, first serve. So I'm going to try and put my dates. I'm going to request Jacob. If not Jacob, then Ty. And then I have a couple other names of people that I've been following. There's Disney Weddings on Instagram is the Disney Fine Art Photography Instagram. Now, those photos are the wedding photos. So, but those are the same photographers, and they usually will link or post a hashtag of which photographer it is, so you can kind of see whose style you like. But I will tell you, there are no bad photographers with Disney Fine Art Photography. So those are my tips. If you have questions, please post in the comments below. And if you have another topic of something you'd like me to talk about, just post a comment below, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.